Hello YouTube. Today Snake Take is introducing the that's upside down, the DR Ultra Bits. So what the hell is this? I came across this in the supermarket the other day and I thought it looked interesting and familiar, and that's because it is quite familiar. Now if we have a look, if we can get focus. You see this? Some of you might recognize that. And if I look at the contents on the back here, it's in Danish, so I'll just tell you. It contains one BBC Microbit as well as some various cables and stuff. So this is a rebranded Microbit for the Danish market. It's called the DR Ultra Bit, and why is it called that? Well, DR, which we see the logo down here, DR is Denmark's radio. That's essentially the equivalent of BBC in Denmark. It's the Danish public service broadcasting organization, which does radio and a few TV channels, and Ultra is their kids channel for kids from like 6, 7 up to 13. It's targeted at, I think, and they just released this kit recently, and I thought, you know what, I haven't got kids myself, but I do have a niece and a nephew who are, they're quite interested in consoles and computers right now, mainly for gaming, but maybe we can change that with something like this, make them do something a little bit more productive. Not that there's anything wrong with gaming, I do game a lot myself, to be honest. So today we're going to have a look at how well has this been translated. Is the documentation, and there's a bunch of videos that goes with this on a website. How well has this been translated into Danish? It's good enough because the original Microbit was targeted at children from 7 and up. Actually, when they started designing it was meant for kids from 5 and up, but I think before launch they changed it to 7 and up. So today we're going to have a look at this. So just a little bit of background why I think this is interesting. When I was a kid, my first computer was a Commodore 128. That was my first computer. That was the first computer we had in the house. And we bought it used. It was way out of date, 10 years out of date almost. It was 94, 95. We got that. But that really kindled my interest in computers in general and led to the career I have today as a software developer. And the thing about computers back from the 8-bit era, from the 80s, was like the 128, was that it, when you powered it on, you just went straight to the basic command prompt. And you had to type in commands, and you could do your own programs, and that really fascinated me, and that led me down the road that I am on today. But modern computers, they don't do that. They boot you into a desktop, and you just click the icon, and you're good to go with whatever game or whatever you want to do. You're never really exposed to a command line or anything like basic in a modern computer these days. So I think something like a kit like this could maybe be a really good way of getting kids interested in doing more with their computers than what they can do just by clicking a few icons on the desktop, and then they are opening an app on their phone or whatever. I think something like this could maybe help them to kindle an interest in going forward and doing more productive stuff with their computers. So yeah, let's unbox it, see what's in there. Then I'm gonna have a look at the video that goes with it, and maybe we'll do a few projects on camera. I won't show the videos and stuff, they're in Danish. I imagine they're more or less, you know, copies of the original BBC videos. Maybe we can check out the original BBC Microbit website to maybe compare if they're doing the same projects or what's happening. And then I'll try to conclude if this is going to be a good Christmas present for my niece and nephew, which are, my nephew is 7 and my niece is just turning 10. So maybe this will be a good Christmas present for them. And if nothing else, I think my sister and her husband, they might end up playing with it instead if the kids don't find it interesting. So let's unbox it. Okay, so here we have the Ultrabit Start Kit. It says crack the code for coding or programming. Your imagination is the limit. Everything in Danish. Okay, so let's see what we get in here. We get, first of all, a start guide, which just tells you it has a little overview of the board here, and then it links to all the tutorials on this website. You can go and check it out if you want, but it is in Danish. So if you're not from Denmark, you probably want to go to the BBC Microbit site instead. Then there is something you can cut out here for one of the tutorials and use with some LEDs and stuff. So that's nice. And we got this copper strip, which I believe is has got some glue on the back, so you can line this up and connect LEDs to it or whatever you want. So it's so this side is conductive, and then everything else comes in this little baggie, which we open up here. We've got some crocodile leads. We've got, this is a buzzer. We've got a battery pack. I've already put the batteries in this. Then we've got the actual microbit or ultrabit in this. Let's see if we can get this out of here. And it actually does say microbit on the back. They didn't change that. And even BBC. Yeah, so we can see what's on here. There's not a lot. There is a, let's see, there should be an ARM Cortex 0 core, I think it's called. It's probably this one up here. I can see, and the other one is probably a Bluetooth chip, I would imagine. Or it's a serial to USB chip, I'm not sure. It could even be power management. I'm not sure how much is built into the ARM chip and how much is done by the other chip. But yeah, and it's got a power in, USB connection, and a reset button here. And on this side we have an array of LEDs and 2 buttons. And then we've got some outputs down here. 3 volt ground, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, or 0, sorry, 0, 1, 2. I think they're just digital outputs. I'm not sure if they can do analog stuff, but also it's got a built-in accelerometer and temperature sensor. Yeah. So you can do some fun little projects with that, hopefully. Then we've got USB cable. We've got some LEDs in here. I won't take those out. I'm just gonna lose them. And we've got ready, set, go start guides, which is not translated, and that's actually quite a shame. Well, let's see, maybe it's translated on the other side. It folds out, but it's got some ideas for projects. It tells you how to set it up, get to know your microbit, get set up with power up microbit by connecting battery pack, press buttons, check out the pre-programmed commands, connect your microbit to the battery pack, and then microbit world, coding editor, yada yada yada. It's a shame this isn't actually translated, because it does say on the front here, alt på dansk, which does mean everything is in Danish, which is apparently not true. I'm gonna look into if that's gonna be a problem. Maybe there's plenty of information on the website, maybe, so it doesn't matter, or maybe not. And then we just got a safety guide, which, yeah, fuck that. Okay, so let's try powering it up. It does a little, it's preloaded with a little program, which I'm gonna see if I can get on camera here. So let's move this over here slightly. I don't know, should we use this as a background or just a table? I think that's more or less in focus. So we'll plug this in, just reset it. Okay, so I don't know how well these LEDs will show up. Let me turn on some lights here. And reset it again. Yeah, that should be a lot more clear. So I'll just start flashing some LEDs to get your attention. And then it says hello. Press A. And press B. And now it wants us to shake it, which I found it seems like I should shake it quite hard actually to get it to continue, which is not necessarily easy with the okay, now it went on, but you've got this attached, the battery pack, so it's actually not that easy to shake it very violently. Now it says chase the dot, and it's got an accelerometer in here, so it knows which way we are facing, and you gotta get it all the way down there. So I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, now we're just chasing the dot. So basically it's a very simple version of Snake, you could say, but you don't get longer and stuff like that. So yeah, and I think that's it. I don't think we can go any further. It just stays in this game. So that's how it comes preloaded. So now I'm gonna see if we can program this and see how hard it is to do. Maybe I'll show some of it, maybe not. I'll go watch the video tutorials, and then we'll be back with, you know, maybe trying to attach some of these LEDs to do some other projects, you know, see what kind of project ideas they have on their websites. And then I'll have my conclusions at the end of this video. Okay, so I've been looking at the video tutorials and ready to try coding something. The easiest way to do that, it seems, you go to makecode.microbit.org. I'll throw the link in the video or down in the description. And this side is apparently, it'll adjust the language to whatever country you're from if the microbit has been released in that region. So we can go to make a new project. Everything here will be in Danish, so we'll just make something really simple here. So let's start. So we can say, let's see, where is it? We can just have it show a string. It says hello. So we can say, let's do snake. Yeah, I know you can't really see this, but it's just to give you an idea of how simple it is. So let's just zoom in on the output here, because it's actually got a little simulator built in, which is pretty nice. You see I'm getting quite a lot of noise on this, apparently, that we can actually, I think I want this, or here's, I just wanted to continuously show that. So it says snake tech, yeah, and then we can say hint, which means download. Downloads, yeah, there we go. Then we get a hex file. We'll go into File Explorer, just take our hex file and drag it onto the microbit, which is connected. It shows up as a USB drive, more or less, and it will flash the microbit, and hopefully you'll be able to see that it's now saying snake tech. So it's really simple. I think a child could do that. Now the only thing, so yeah, so far so good. Now let's just have some closing words here while this is flashing away. So I looked at the video tutorials for this, and they're quite short, but in general I think they will captivate the children. But one issue I see with this is they are throwing around terms like strings, variables, loops, like it's, you know, like it's something, you know, you should know beforehand. I think that's gonna be a barrier for kids starting out with this. They are gonna need some guidance, some help getting started and explaining these concepts. I don't think you can just start bare bones with this. They aren't really in the Danish videos, those concepts are not explained. Now there is some written resources as well. They might be in there, but that's not, you know, not the most exciting way to get started. Luckily I saw on the Microbit make code page here that there's like a library of projects you can just download and throw on there and see what it does. So you can kind of get started with that, maybe start looking at how is it made and so on. Now in my case, I know my sister, she works in accounting, but I know actually in her school days she did have a fundamental programming course. So she can probably figure it out. But if, you know, the parents are totally computer illiterate and there's nobody to help the kids out, I think this is going to be very frustrating. It might seem fun at first, but you're going to hit a brick wall if you don't understand the basic concepts of a loop or a variable, a string, etc. I mean, yeah, you're gonna struggle. So and it's not explained in the video resources, at least the Danish video resources. So hopefully it is in the text resources, but that's that's not the best way to draw in kids, I don't think. So would I recommend this? I think you should consider if there is somebody, if you're gifting this to outside of your family. I mean, if you bought this, you're watching this video, you probably have an interest, you probably have some basic knowledge, at least to get started. But if you're gifting this to somebody, some other family, you should consider, is there somebody there that can help get things going? If not, I don't think this is too great, to be honest. Now, of course, I've just looked at the official resources for this, so maybe, if you go to YouTube and stuff, there's probably plenty of tutorial videos in most languages available somewhere out there, so maybe it's not a problem, maybe I'm just overanalyzing this. I think I am going to gift this to my niece and nephew for Christmas. They're gonna get another present as well, something off their wish list, but this is just gonna be a little extra something. Yeah, but if my sister didn't have didn't have the basic knowledge of programming that I know she does, then I might not do it. Because it might very well just get exchanged or sit in the box forever after they've played around with it for half an hour and then hit a brick wall. Yeah. Now I'm interested in hearing from you guys. Leave a comment if this had actually been released outside of, and now I know it's in Denmark and I know it's in the UK, of course, where the BBC originally launched it. But has this actually been translated to other countries around the world? I mean, is there a French version, a German version, Indian version of this? And so what is it called? And, does it seem to be popular? I mean, I don't think this is very popular in Denmark. I only just saw it a couple of days ago on the shelf in the supermarket, and I've never heard on the Danish version before, but then again, I don't watch that kids channel, so maybe it's heavily be promoted there and all the kids know about it. I don't know, but yeah, so I'd like to hear from you guys. So leave a comment down below if you know something about it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, take care.